I'm hot.
I thought you were like, I'm high. I was like, are you?
No.
Okay.
It's
all right.
10 o'clock in the morning.
Wake and bake. You never heard of it? You've never waked and baked?
No.
Dude, waking and bacon is...
Because when I wake up, I immediately have to shit every time.
Hi, podcast besties.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm gonna cry.
If that's not a mood, I don't know what it is.
Honestly. Welcome to episode 9 of Isn't That Odd Pod, an all things spooky podcast.
And we're your hosts. I'm Paul.
And I'm Breana.
And today we have great stories for you lined up. And when I say stories, oh no, I am right. I'm all fucked up. Because we're not doing our usual recording like we usually would do because of weather.
Oh, so yeah.
I said stories and I was like, oh no, we only have one story. And I was like, no, wait, we're both telling a story.
Yeah, that's plural.
So I'm all fucked up today. And I made Breana do the opening because she keeps yelling at me because I fucked it up twice in a row. Yeah,
because what was it, like episode 7? We just dogged the episode.
We just went right
No one knew our names.
Talking about watching movies with our neighbors without them knowing. Yeah.
Today's been a rough morning. I picked up Paul a coffee on the way here because it's supposed to snow today, so we're trying to like get in, get out, do it real quick. That didn't work out because I picked up a coffee for him, and then we were sitting down to get ready to record, like, I swear to God, 30 minutes ago, and my coffee just decided it wanted to live on the floor. And
Breana let out the shriekiest shriek I've ever heard in my life.
It was a banshee of a shriek.
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck's happening? And then I just look, and Rue's food bowl is just filled with iced coffee. And I was like, huh.
Yeah, it was really sad. The coffee wasn't even good, so it wasn't about the coffee. It was just that I was...
The coffee wasn't good?
It was mediocre at best.
What did you get?
I just got a mocha cafe, whatever they call it at Starbucks.
Cafe mocha?
Yeah, I don't know. But I added French vanilla to it because that's how I make my mochas at home, is I put French vanilla in it, but theirs wasn't good. It tasted
they don't... Did you say French vanilla?
In the app, it said vanilla syrup.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't taste good.
I mean, French vanilla, if you wanted French vanilla at Starbucks, it's vanilla and hazelnut. Hack for all you people out there.
I didn't know it was different. I'm a Dunkin' Donuts
because obviously
vet.
Dunkin' has their own French vanilla that's pre-mixed, but at Starbucks, the closest thing you'll get is vanilla and hazelnut mix.
See, I thought it was the same. I didn't know that. Whatever. Anyway.
No, it's different. You know how there's like, when it comes to ice cream, there's like vanilla ice cream where there's like vanilla bean.
Oh,
we talked about how you like vanilla bean
ice cream.
And I love vanilla bean too, but you have the vanilla bean and then you have like vanilla. It's kind of similar, I guess.
I have a question for you, actually. I wanted to ask you on the pod, so I tried not to say it this whole time, but on the drive here, I was listening to Selena Gomez because, got to keep an eye out for Selena.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Selena Gomez song?
My favorite Selena Gomez song?
Yeah.
Damn, you're really putting me on the spot.
I think mine, and 100%, is Fetish featuring Gucci Mane. That song, I love it so much. I could listen to that back to back so many times. I love it. It's not even a her only song. It's the one that she does with Marshmello. It's a really good song. I think it's Wolves. Yeah. That song I just jammed to. That's very interesting. I didn't expect you to say that.
Why?
I don't know. I expected like something else.
It's just like a jam. It's a jammer. I mean, I do really enjoy her song. Yeah. It's like, oh, you like them? Name 3 songs. And I was like,
So I was listening on Spotify, and it was like Selena Gomez has a playlist where it's like the hits playlist that she made.
Yeah.
And it went from Fetish featuring Gucci Mane, which is like my song, and then it went to like Selena Gomez in the Scene from like when she's still on Disney Channel, and it was so nostalgic. I was like, it was amazing. And it's a vibe.
It's Lose You to Love Me. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, I fucking love that
it's
song
like
too.
When that first came out, I would just pretend to be the main character and just sing and belt and cry for no apparent reason.
And cry.
But the song Calm Down is actually really good too. I know
I was listening to that when I pulled into your driveway.
That's what the kids are listening to nowadays. So I like that song a lot.
I was just thinking about it. So I was like, I'm going to ask Paul on the pod. So the podcastees, our podcast besties.
But I have a follow-up question to that. So we talked about Selena. What's your favorite Hailey Bieber song? Fun fact, she doesn't sing because she sucks.
Yeah.
And she's not talented.
Yeah.
Hashtag Team Selena.
Yeah. Selena.
Anyway.
If you're wondering where we stand.
Gotta keep an eye out for Selena.
What was it you at work the other day that I had to explain that lyric to?
Yeah, we were talking because I obviously know the song. I was just like, what is the context? I'm like, why is Nicki Minaj saying like gotta keep an eye out for Celine? And then you looked into the lyrics and you told me the before and after, and it made sense.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get into the stories.
Yeah. I would ask who's first, but you yelled at me and jammed it into my brain that you are always first when we record.
Actually, not anymore after today.
What do you mean?
Going forward, it'll be you going first because the way we're doing the recording now.
What happened?
Oh,
because we...
Yep.
We're only doing... Yeah. Okay.
Yep. We're breaking the fourth wall.
I love that.
Okay. All right. I'm going to say my sources first.
Wait.
Okay.
Wait.
Okay.
The floor is all yours.
I hate you. Okay. I'm going to cite my sources because I love citing my sources. So my sources today are the Stranger Dimensions website and season 1, episode 10 of The Conspiracy Show. Wait, we didn't even say what our topics were today.
No.
Okay, I'm doing conspiracy.
Ooh, shocker.
And Paul's doing paranormal. I'm not. Whatever. Fuck you guys.
See, we can't. See, just let it be known we can't all be perfect. So when I fuck up,
I never said I was perfect. I almost just cried about spilling my coffee. Nothing about that was perfect.
That is a tragedy, though.
Yeah, it is.
Spilling iced coffee is a big tragedy.
Yeah. No use crying over spilled almond milk.
It could be worse. You could have spilled it in a car that has cloth.
I would have crashed my car.
Oh,
I would have just crashed it, yeah. No cleanup.
You know how to fix it? Crash.
No cleanup.
Crash into a ditch. Just playing.
I had no idea where you were going with that. I was like, huh? Okay, shut up.
All right.
So, Paul.
Yes?
I know that you hate this, but just play along with me, okay? Humor me.
I'll pretend.
Think back to all the time traveler movies you've seen. And what is the number one rule of time travel?
What is the number one rule of time travel?
Yes.
Don't mess with the past?
Correct. Right. Don't change anything about the past because it could drastically change the future. Correct. I'm so proud of you.
Can I just say the only thing I thought about was the SpongeBob episode when they go back and... That's like all
I thought you'd be thinking of like Back to the Future or something.
I mean, you said time travel movie, and I was like, Back to the Future, and I was like, I've seen it, I don't remember it.
Oh, I've never.
It's just like those like TV shows like SpongeBob where they go back and they're like, don't mess with the past. Yeah.
So, this theory of not changing anything is a chaos theory known as the butterfly effect, which in layman's terms, the theory goes as such. Quote, when a butterfly moves its wings, it can create a cyclone on the other side of the world. Which basically just means the smallest things have the biggest impact. What are you singing?
You move your body like a cyclone.
Just heard you whispering.
I do love me some butterfly effect though. Yeah. That's probably one of my favorite. Is it a theory? What would it be called?
It's a chaos theory. I just said that.
Yeah. So it's my favorite. Shut up! I heard chaos.
It's a chaos theory.
I'm all about the chaos.
Yeah.
So it is
because it's like obviously it's not a proven. Like there's no way to prove it.
Yeah.
So they say. So our main focus today is going to be on Andrew Basiago. Have you ever heard that name before?
Mm-mm.
He is a Seattle attorney who in 2004 became a government whistleblower. He claimed that in the late 1960s, he was recruited by his father, whose name was Raymond F. Basiago, into a top-secret government project. This project was called Project Pegasus. So today's Conspiracy, we're going to be talking about the possibility of time travel and the multiverse. We're going to be talking about Project Pegasus.
My mind stopped at Peg.
Of course it did. So you don't know anything about Project Pegasus?
No.
Okay.
Maybe very, very lightly in just the form of I was looking for conspiracy theories and glazed upon it, but I didn't read into it, no.
It's a very hard conspiracy theory to do research on. I know of it, and that's why I knew what to look for. But if you don't know what you're looking for, it gives you like results for like the Marvel MCU because they have something called Project Pegasus in there, which I feel like is very suspicious.
So cue me doing this as a story and talking about the real thing, and then suddenly being, yeah. So suddenly Loki decided to.
Yeah, right. Okay, so what actually is Project Pegasus? Project Pegasus is run under the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, or DARPA for short. That's what we're going to be calling it.
DARPA?
Yeah, they call it DARPA as an acronym. and was the predecessor of the Monarch Project and the Philadelphia Experiment. Don't ask me what those are, because I don't know. I lied, I do know, I just don't want to talk about them.
Why?
It's a lot. Oh. I just don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
So the mission was to study the effects of time travel and teleportation on kids.
On kids?
On kids.
Children.
Yes. As well as to relay important information about the past and future events to, quote, the President of the United States, the intelligence community, and the military.
So it's a program for kids, and they wanted them to tell them about past events?
Yes. So the point of doing all of that was to better help the president, the government, all that, to better help the country. So basically, like, learn from the past. But also, like, just pick up a fucking book. Like, you just read a history book.
But the thing is, you can't even pick up a book because they whitewash it, but...
maybe that's why, then.
Yeah.
You cracked the code.
I know.
So the project involved a total of 140 children who would go on to become, quote, America's first generation of time travelers. According to Basiago, children were recruited specifically for their ability to adapt. So that's why they used children instead of adults.
Huh.
Because the strain of moving between the past, the present, and the future, they did not think adults would survive that. So instead, they did it for kids. So according to Basiago, because this whole story is coming from him, from his whistleblowing, this all started with the death of Nikola Tesla in January of 1943.
Is that my Bessie and a Tessie?
I promise you, I have that in my notes. Right under it. I knew you were going to say it. I was going to try and say it before you said it, but I was like, let me, like, pause for dramatic effect and see if he says it. You did.
Am I that predictable?
Am I the drama? I don't think I'm the drama. Am I the villain? I don't think I'm the villain. So Tesla was an inventor and engineer best known for his contributions to the design of the modern alternating current electricity supply system.
Yeah.
Yeah. Many conspiracies surround Tesla and his research, but this much is clear about him. He was one smart motherfucker, and people wanted his information. So Basiago tells the story like this. When Tesla died in New York City in 1943, there were two teams of people racing to his apartment to get his information once they found out that he died. One team was FBI agents. The other team was a group of intelligence officers for the War Department of our government.
Huh.
The War Department officers won the race. With the information, they shared them with the top scientists of the world with, you know, proper security clearance. Wink, wink.
Of course.
Everybody couldn't get in there, but if you have the clearance, you got that. The alleged documents that they got from his apartment revealed the schematic for a teleportation machine, basically. And we're going to talk science for a second. Just bear with me, okay?
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Bill! I fucking love Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Hi, Bill. If you're watching, come be on the pod thing.
Watching?
Listening.
Yeah.
Watching with your ears.
If you're watching with your ears, you could teleport into the studio right now. Bill! Are you gaslighting? No, all seriousness, if someone just fucking teleported in here, I would shit my pants.
I'm into it.
My pants would be shot.
I would ask how I can do it. Because I just want to... I've been thinking about how I want to sleep some more. And then I just don't want to get ready to go to work. So if I could sleep until like I had to be at work for 5 minutes, I could just take a shower, get ready real quick in like 5 minutes, and just snap of the finger and just go to work.
I know, it saves so much time, especially like commuting and shit. I think about that all the time. People are like, what superpower would you want? People are like, invisibility. I'm like, teleportation, my dog. You know how much time I would save?
Invisibility would be pretty nice.
No, teleportation, always.
You can rob a bank with invisibility.
You could rob a bank with teleportation. What do you mean?
You're still going to be on camera. What do you mean?
No, not if I pop up, go poop, and then pop out. Boop,
You're going to still be on camera.
Boop, boop, bop, boop, boop.
I suppose in that sense you could just put on whatever clothing you want.
Yeah, I suppose with the beep, bop, boop.
I'm going to beep about the boop that you have the fucking head, bro.
Shut up.
Bro.
Shut up.
Speaking of the fucking beep about the boop over the head.
Shut. up. So the alleged documents revealed the schematic for a teleportation machine using something Basiago calls, quote, radiant energy.
How does that go?
I have no idea.
What I learned in boarding school is... I was like,
what is it? Blankety, blank. I can't wait to fucking edit this audio. It's just screaming into the mic. All right, shut the fuck up.
I'm getting hot.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh.
Oh. Basiago says around 1967, his father took him to the, quote, Old Curtis Wright Aeronautical Company facility in Woodridge, New Jersey. Are you listening to me? Do I have your attention? All right. In building 68 at the facility was a room called the Teleport.
Would have been better if it was room 69, but...
Uh-huh. I thought the same thing when I was writing it. I was like, missed opportunity.
Just one more room, babe.
Yeah,
that's all
right?
you had to do.
One more building. Just boop, right over. Basiago describes a machine that consisted of two parenthesis-shaped armatures in the front of the room. So think of parentheses, how they're like...
Two?
Count them. Two parentheses. He says this, quote, standing in the room about 10 feet from the machine, it generated a shimmering curtain of radiant energy. So radiant energy is what they found in his apartment, right? So radiant energy is a form of energy that is latent and pervasive in the entire universe. Meaning, it's hidden, undiscovered, or laying dormant, and it's all over the universe. So it's just there. Mm-hmm. When radiant energy, is tapped from the quantum realm, it has the capacity to bend the fabric of time and space. So hypothetically, jumping through a field, or a curtain in our case, of this energy, you would be physically relocated. All right, that's enough of my science class. We're going to go back into the story.
So basically, radiant energy is anywhere, so you can just go anywhere because it's everywhere.
If you're able to tap into it, yes.
Got it.
Because, like, for example, in this room, like, it's in this room. We just don't have the technology to tap into it. So it's just there. But if you could tap into it...
then you could go anywhere.
Exactly. So back to building 68 plus 1.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, queen.
I knew it. His father explained that they were going to jump through this curtain of energy that we just talked about, the radiant energy, and arrive in several seconds to a hillside somewhere else in the country. And that they did. Andrew describes an illuminated tunnel. He compares it to kind of what people see when they have near-death experiences. Like when people talk about those, they're like, I just saw a tunnel with white light at the end. That's exactly what he describes. At the end of the tunnel, there was a light, like you would see if you were having Jesus fucking Christ.
A near-death experience?
Yeah, I couldn't get those words out.
I got you.
Rushing towards them, and then so they went and they reached for the light. And then the location that they landed in was Santa Fe, New Mexico. So remember, they started in New Jersey. The tunnel thing was in New Jersey. Mm-hmm. With all the radiant energy, and then they ended up in New Mexico. By the fall of 1970, they were moving back in time 12 hours. So that was the first jump, and now we're going a little bit forward in time, a few more years, and now they're going back 12 hours in the day. So they would spend the entire day in New Mexico, and then they would transport back to New Jersey via time traveling. So, like, example, if you were standing in the room with them when they left New Jersey, you know, the countdown, whatever, they would press the button, they would disappear, and then they would immediately come back at that same exact time. But for them, for Basiago and his father, they would be gone for 12 hours. They would have spent the whole day in New Mexico. But in New Mexico, when they got sent back, they went back in time 12 hours.
Got it.
Do you get it? Mm-hmm. Okay, you just look very confused.
No, I was just thinking, a thought in my head came to me. It's just like, if you go in the past, like far enough, before this technology was invented, then how the fuck would you get back? Wouldn't you technically just be stuck in the past since the technology isn't made? Or is the tunnel, like the movies, just like stay open? You know what I'm trying to ask?
That's a good question. I didn't see anything about that, but from what Basiago says, it sounds like them in the present would just send him... I'm trying to figure out how to explain it. They would just send him and then send him back.
Like the people that were there could just send
controlling the machine. Yeah, they were just like sending him there and back. Okay. I don't know how they figured out how long he was there for, how long they knew it took him to complete his missions, but they kind of just like let him just let him go. I know that you haven't seen any Marvel movies, but for those of us who have seen Avengers Endgame, at the very end when they're sending back Captain America to return the Infinity Stones, and he's gone for like 5 seconds, that's exactly what I'm describing. Paul's like, don't care.
I was like, sounds legit.
So this may seem all cool and fun, you know, time traveling, you're that girl, you're that bitch, but it had like some serious risk. Basiago has a colleague named Alfred Webre, I think is how you pronounce his name, and he recalls one instance where a child returned from his voyage before his legs. He puts it, quote, he was wailing in pain with just stumps where his legs should have been, end quote. According to Weber, these, quote, bugs have been ironed out in the 40 or so years since the experiments began.
Oh, good.
I fucking hope so.
I'm glad they had some software updates. So,
yeah, and I'm fucking glad.
Updates, yeah.
Their phone said, system update right now. Let's go.
Critical error, please update immediately.
So basically, Andrew Basiago would go back in time, gather intel about whatever he got sent back to do, and then he would come back to the present, like the present day time, and he would be debriefed. Do you know what it means to be debriefed? Okay. Now let's get into some of Basiago's, quote, trips. In 1972, Basiago was sent to Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, to witness, you guessed it, the Gettysburg Address speech by President Abraham Lincoln. Do you know anything about the Gettysburg Address?
Nope.
Okay.
Well, yeah, but I couldn't tell you if it's my noggin, yeah.
So Basiago was dressed as a Union buggy boy, and he had these oversized shoes on. I don't know why they gave him to them, but he felt like these shoes were drawing way too much attention, so he kind of wandered away from the crowd. And while he wanders away from the crowd, he gets photographed. There's a photo of him there. And the image is called, I'm going to show Paul right now, and then it's also going to be on our Instagram, at isntthatoddpod. So you can follow along and see the picture, but I'm going to show Paul right now. But if you want to like Google the image, it's called, quote, Josephine Cobb image of Lincoln at Gettysburg. So this right here in the middle is Andrew Basiago. So if you look at his shoes, they see how big they are. He was really nervous about people like thinking that he was like out of sorts because his shoes were way too fucking big. Because like back then they just dressed the way they were supposed to. They wore things that fit them. So he was stressed. So he like wanders away, and this picture was taken.
Allegedly.
No, this is an actual picture that was taken.
Oh.
This is a real picture.
Oh.
Allegedly, the boy is him, but that's a real boy in that picture.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I got it.
Allegedly. Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, this man probably saw that picture and just created a whole story around it. That's my thought. But, anywho.
Boring. So they also sent him back to the assassination of Abraham Lincoln. Like 5 to 6 times. They kept sending him back. He never actually witnessed the assassination, which is something that I was really worried about because I was like, I know he's doing a lot, but he's still a kid. That's kind of fucked up. Abraham Lincoln got his fucking cap blown back. Like, what the fuck? Cap blown back.
I was letting you just go with that.
Yeah. They kept sending him back because they wanted to see if he would continue to experience the same events or if he would experience something different. He had 2 different starting points, so with each jump, he would be starting at a different spot, and because of that, he actually ran into himself there twice. So they're doing that to see if he experienced different events, and just think like multiverse. When
I think of the butterfly effect, I feel like even the smallest thing can just ruin.
It's crazy that you're bringing that up. Shut up. I'm going to tell you. I know that I said that I was done with the science stuff. Just bear with me. So the multiverse theory suggests that the universe that we know it and the one that we live in is not the only universe that exists. There is an unfathomable number of universes that exist, all at the same time. So think Rick and Morty, think the Marvel Cinematic Universe, all that kind of stuff. The multiverse theory plays into the butterfly effect that I talked about earlier, because one small change is going to create another multiverse. Yes. So, for example, if that butterfly flaps its wings and the cyclone on the other side of the world goes off, that happening, it flapping its wings, creates a branch off to make it a whole nother universe. So the main, quote, main universe isn't affected.
Got it.
Anybody who's seen anything MCU lately, I know that you're fucking on board. But Paul is just like, sure.
Sure, Jan.
With that being said, do you want to hear something super corny?
Sure.
That's like a TikTok trend.
Uh-oh.
It's basically... It's basically just like saying to like your friends and loved ones that like I hope all across the multiverse we're friends. It's so corny, but like I hope we're friends across the multiverse, Paul. And I hope I spilt my coffee across every multiverse. Paul looks so disgusted.
Anyways.
Before I keep going, are you confused at all? Do you need me to clarify anything?
Shockingly, no.
Okay, you're all caught up?
Yeah.
Cool, okay. So, side tangent, but multiverse theory is like my niche. I think it's so fucking fascinating. Because it kind of plays into like, hi Kate, it kind of plays into aliens. Like, how like there's no way that we're the only like intelligent life form out there. Mm-hmm. So it's like kind of the same thing, but on like a much larger scale.
See, I can get behind we're not the only thing out there. Mm-hmm. Probably because everything is on paper. I can see these different universes. You're a very logical person, yeah. And then you say multiverse, I'm like, no.
So thinking of it that way, the idea of the multiverse is it's not even like if you keep going out in the universe, you'll find it eventually. It's basically just energy. So like if you have a machine that has enough energy, it can tap into that radiant energy that we can't see, which is the multiverse. So it's very like, it's all theoretical, obviously. Yeah, but like it could be theoretical, you know, they probably already fucking doing it. I think it's ironic that time I did the Titanic, you were saying that the government has like such advanced technology. And I'm like, yeah, they did. And you're like, no, they didn't.
Could that explain deja vu? Or is that something totally different?
Kind of, yeah. Could possibly, yeah.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. So in the 1980s now, using the jump room, so they're no longer in the transporter room. Now they're using a different kind of technology. I did not want to get into it. I don't care if you're upset about that.
Oh, that's fucking rude.
Well, no, I'm talking to them because like too much, it's a lot of fucking science. And I was like doing it and I was like, no. Because I'm not going to say something if I don't understand it. So using now the jump room, which is using different technology, Basiago teleported to the red planet. Yes, the red planet. Mars. Yes.
Yay. I know something.
Proud of you.
Thank you.
Their mission was acting as ambassador to the Martian civilization. I said their mission, as in there was numerous people there. It wasn't just Basiago. His fellow travelers were William Stillings and President Barack Obama and a number of others.
Sure.
Basiago explains, the children that were selected to participate in this project, the 140 children, were all going to be a high-ranking government official someday. Presidents, military leaders, things like that. And so that's why Barack Obama was there, because he already knew that he was going to be president. So he was in the program with Basiago.
So our whole government is scripted, is what you're saying. Mm-hmm. Got it. Mm-hmm. Just like the NFL. Football.
Shut the fuck up. So while they were on Mars, Basiago says that they saw towering dinosaurs and humanoid scorpion men.
I want to see a dinosaur.
Scorpion men, though, am I right? The worst.
Wait, I can confirm that.
I know. You're just flying right over, and I was like, no, come back. Come back to me.
Yeah, they're... I don't want to say too... I don't want to offend anybody.
I'll offend him. My brother's a Scorpio.
But the one Scorpio that I did date was a disaster, so...
For those that didn't know, Paul's zodiac sign is a Virgo, but he has a Scorpio moon and rising. So.
I have Scorpio so much in my chart. And that explains...
Believe me, you can tell.
It explains so much why I'm typically grounded and logical, but I'm also just a fucking chaotic mess, too. It's an interesting brain to live in, for sure.
If you care about my zodiac chart, I'm an Aries sun, and then I am a Virgo moon and rising. So I'm a fucking hothead all the time, but I'm very grounded in my hot-headedness.
That's probably why we get along so much, because it's very similar. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're a little more hot-headed than I am, but we're just as crazy, because Aries and Scorpio are crazy. You just have that hot-headedness, and I'm just like, no, I'm
always fucking ready to fight. I'm ready to throw hands at all times. Sting. On sight.
I'm all about stinging.
Yeah, on sight, though, I'm ready to throw hands. I'm sorry? What did you just say?
I said I'm all about stinging the soul.
Oh.
You're just like, no, I'll just fucking punch you in the face. And I was like, no, I'll emotionally degrade you.
Yeah. Fact. Double whammy.
Yeah, if you get us together and we're both coming at you, good luck, babe.
So, circling back to the story.
Oh, yeah, we have a story.
Yeah. When I read that he saw dinosaurs, I was like, dinosaurs? And he basically says that, like, the dinosaurs / scorpion men that are on Mars, they just eat people. So they had to be careful on their mission, because if they, like, since they're, like, an ambassador group, they're kind of like how people come and they're, like, them, like, the, what am I talking about? Like, the plates that people put in their cars where it's, like, ambassador plates, you know what I'm talking about? Diplomatic plates, that's what I'm trying to say. It's kind of like that, but in space.
Got it.
And so if they veer away from where they're supposed to be with their diplomatic duties, they could just die, get eaten.
Nice.
Yeah.
I want to see a dinosaur still.
All right. Go to Mars. Hit up Asiago.
There's got to be someone that's brought a dinosaur back at this point.
That's what lizards aren't. Lizards,
like they got to be.
Aren't chickens dinosaurs?
They got to be in a lab somewhere.
I feel like I'm lying, but I feel like I saw somewhere that chickens are very close to dinosaurs.
That sounds about right.
Now, Basiago does have people who back up his claims. He claims to know the future, that he'll be president one day, and how everything pans out, yada, yada, yada. But his bid for office in 2016 was a failure. I'm not saying he's a liar, but...
Wait, is this man real?
Yes.
This man's real? Okay.
Yes, he ran for president.
For some reason,
he ran for president in 2016, and He
did?
Listen, I saw on a website that he got, like, point votes. Like, he got 0 point something votes. Like, he barely got any votes. And what I was thinking, after I did the research about it, because, you know, multiverse, how we're talking about that, I wonder if him whistleblowing in 2004 caused a multiversal break. And so this is the universe where he doesn't become president because he doesn't know how to keep his fucking mouth shut.
He looks like a...
I was just about to show you a picture of him.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I just saw the picture that you had in your notes that I looked at.
Yeah.
Because it was right above the picture of him as a child, quote unquote, allegedly.
Allegedly. I love how you're just moving that whole time you were talking. Shh. Basiago is now a leading figure in the movement campaigning for the government to publicly disclose the teleportation technology that he used as a child. They, as in the movement, believe this would benefit humanity as a whole and make transportation, both on Earth and throughout the cosmos, instantaneous and environment friendly. So they would do with cars, all that kind of stuff. But too bad that will never happen, because if there's one thing the U.S. government doesn't care about, it's climate change.
True.
That's it. Bye.
You know what's crazy? is this man is either telling some bits of the truth or he was just repeatedly dropped on his head as a child.
That's what I was thinking, because, again, I choose to believe this is true because like multiverse stuff, time travel, that shit is like my thing. I think that stuff is so fascinating. And so I choose to believe that this is true, but some of the things that he says, I'm kind of just like, Like, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to be president. But then he ran for president and then got no fucking votes. And so it's like...
It's just how... Because something like this...
You're scratching your head so hard.
Because I'm trying to think of the words.
Something I've learned about you is when you can't think of something, you just start rubbing your head so hard.
Come on, it's like a genie bottle.
I know, yeah. I'm a genie in a bottle. Oh, I did it. Fuck, damn.
What?
I thought we were going to get through without singing, and I did it.
We already sang.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we did.
No, we didn't.
Yeah, we did.
No, we didn't.
When you listen back to this, we did.
No, we didn't.
I forget what it was.
We did not.
We did.
We didn't.
We did.
We didn't.
We did.
We didn't.
We did.
We did not.
All right. So, enough of that. It's how it's one thing to
yeah, you'll get there.
have really strong opinions about like political stuff because you have your beliefs of this, that, and the third, but to really like hone down and zero in on something like this, it just doesn't make sense unless there's some bits of truth, or again, there's just something mentally wrong upstairs, like schizophrenia, like something like would schizophrenia make you do something? I don't know, but you understand what I'm trying to say. Like it's either some sort of like mental disorder, mental whatever that he has going on that makes him believe such a thing, or there's some bits of truth to it, and it's just embellished, if anything. Because he just seems so hell-bent that this exists, so it's just like...
I don't think that he has something wrong with him. I think something did happen. Because he is like... He's a lawyer. Like, he's an attorney. So he's like a very smart man.
Yeah.
And so
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Something did happen. I don't know if it's to the extent that he thinks it did, but even like the picture at Gettysburg, like knowing the history of people... at that time period, like they didn't wear baggy clothes, they didn't wear things that were too big for them, so just the fact that this child is there wearing clothes that don't fit him properly is kind of just enough to be like, what the fuck is that? And so I don't know if he just saw that and was like piggybacking off it, or if it literally is him, but something did happen. I don't know if we'll ever fully know until the government like declassifies the documents, but they probably won't.
Yeah, that's just what I can't get past. It's not like he's gaslighting us into believing Second Amendment rights or something like that.
Second Amendment rights.
But he's...
What is Second Amendment rights? Is that the...
Right to bear arms.
That's what I thought, okay.
But he's just gaslighting us into believing this technology, and he's a smart, knowledgeable man, so it's something either went wrong somewhere in childhood, and he's like, yeah, this exists, or or it actually does exist. To some degree.
I love telling you things like this that are kind of like on the batshit crazy spectrum, because you just completely shut it down. You're like, no.
No, I'm spiraling in my head.
You don't look like it on the outside.
Oh, I am.
I was like, I thought he was going to love this. You don't love it. You look so bored. And so I was like, do you get it? Are you understanding it? Do you know what I'm saying?
No, I understood every single bit of it. What? Every single bit of it. It's just... I can't wrap around my head why he's so hell-bent on it. And that... I think
because
that
it probably happened.
That's the thing. I think that's the reason why I think it exists, is because he's so hell-bent on it.
Yeah.
It would be one thing if it was some Joe Schmo from God knows where, and he's like, yeah, teleport doesn't exist. And it's just like, okay, dude, but he's...
And then you find out he's a meth head. I bet you did teleport, huh? Bet you teleported real good.
Speaking of teleporting like that, have you ever lucid dreamed?
I'm scared too.
I really want to. I'm
scared too because you ever seen those? I'm like on lucid dream TikTok, and it's like as soon you're not supposed to like ask anybody what the date is, what the time is, because then they're gonna know. And then I saw one TikTok where one girl was like, "Oh yeah, this isn't real," and then the person next to them, like their whole face just like morphed into something else. Lucid dreaming is crazy. Do you like understand the concept of it, or do you?
Yeah, I mean, I've done it by accident to the point where like I've controlled my dreams and. It's totally on accident in the moment, and then I wake up and I'm like, fuck, how did I do that? And I can never actually like replicate it. Yeah, I
am too scared to do it because lucid dreaming takes place, well, dreaming supposedly takes place in like the astral realm. Do you know about that?
Well, yeah, I was just about to say. So lucid dreaming I want to do. One thing I'm afraid of doing is astral projecting.
They're kind of the same thing.
Dreams
supposedly take place on that realm because that's why you're not supposed to say to people like, what's the date, what time is it, because that stuff doesn't exist. Time is a social construct, literally. So there it doesn't exist, and like if you bring it up there, then they know, and then you're not supposed to let them know what they know, because then they can follow you back, and it's just a lot, and it's just like very stressful. I'm getting worked up right now just thinking about it.
See,
I don't want to do that.
I've just associated lucid dreaming with just like being able to control your own dreams.
Yeah.
And,
that's what it, I mean, and
just be aware that you're dreaming and like be able to control like what you do, what you see, etc. Yeah. And astral projecting is like you literally are just like come out of your body, you see, and you're just like, all right, let's go. And then it's like Peter Pan-esque, and you're just like, boo.
I don't think it's like that. I think that's kind of how it's described for people who don't really like, I don't want to say understand it, but people who aren't really like knowledgeable, I guess, is a nicer way to put it. But it's kind of just like they're the same place when it comes down to it. Because I believe in stuff like that. I believe in like energies and like different realms to an extent. So like all that kind of stuff, I believe in it. So that makes sense to me with the way that my life is perceived. But like for other people, it'll probably sound like we're just fucking blowing it out our fucking ass.
Yeah.
But they are the same thing. Because I'm trying to figure out how to explain this without sounding crazy. We are all just beings. And that's where we come from, is that realm. But we're just not conscious of it yet. At least a lot of us aren't. And so when you go there and you let them know that you're not conscious enough to know what to say and what not to say, that's when it bites you in the ass. That's where you're not supposed to say all this stuff. But it's just so scary. Because I feel like they would just know.
Just like as soon as you get there, they're just like,
this bitch!
You're an outsider. Get her.
Yeah, no. And
it's like, no, please don't.
Yeah, literally. Anyway.
I've tried a lot on trying to like lucid dream, because there's like, listen to this when you sleep, or they're just like,
yeah, I'm really scared to do it.
You know, as you're falling asleep, like move your finger. I don't know. There's like whole things that you could do, and I've just never been successful, and I've always just done it accidentally, and I'm mad every time I do it.
It's really scary. You're so fascinating to me because there's so many things that you hard don't believe in, but then things like this where you're like, yeah, I could fuck with that, and it's kind of the same thing. They're kind of the same concept, just different shapes.
What?
Just like, for example, like ghosts and stuff like that, that's just another realm, another plane of existence, and you're kind of just like, no, that doesn't exist. But you're like, yeah, I'll lucid dream, which is kind of the same thing. Just same thing, different shape, presented in different box.
Is it though? Because lucid dreaming to me is just like you are able to tap, like it's all in your mind.
That's
like
my point, though.
You're able to...
That's
you're
my
just
point.
like, damn, yeah, I am dreaming, and you're tapped into that part of your brain that does all the dreams, and you're just like, yeah, I can control this shit.
You can't ever try to talk when Paul's talking, because he'll just talk over you.
Right.
That's my point, though, is like someone, I'm not saying it in a bad way, but like someone like you who doesn't believe in the same things that say someone like me believes in, you rationalize it, and you make it like, oh, no, it's just this. Mm-hmm. But the actual intent behind it from people who actually practice it, it's something completely different. That's what I'm saying. You're so interesting. Because you were just like, no, go start fucking Ripley. Like, yeah, I'll do that. It's just interesting. Very interesting. That's it. That's my story. Paul's turn. Ad break.
We don't have those. Let's be real. Sad.
You ever need some energy?
Huh? 5-hour energy.
Just stares at you from across the mic like, play along.
5-hour energy.
Not sponsored.
Get energy for 5 hours. Find at your local 7-Eleven.
Do you remember working at the Red store?
Yes.
Together? And whenever somebody... We're not fucking giving them nothing. The Red store, when you would have to sell people 5-hour energy and they would have to like give you an ID for it.
Did they?
Yes.
Yeah, there were very random items.
How much caffeine is in that?
In 5-hour energy?
Yeah, Google it.
5-hour energy. Caffeine. Yeah, there were so many weird things that you had to present an ID for when it comes to like diet or
allergy medicine too. It never used to be for Benadryl, and then kids were starting to like quote abuse Benadryl during the pandemic, so we had to start IDing for that too.
Did you know there's a decaf 5-hour energy?
What's I feel like that's point of that? I feel like that's the same thing of decaf coffee.
So in decaf, which is I don't understand. There's 6 milligrams. Wow. In the original, there's 215 milligrams.
That's a big jump.
Extra strength is 242.
Wait, whoa. What's regular?
Huh?
What's regular? 200 what?
215.
That's funny. They said extra strength, you get a little bit more, but decaf, you get none.
Yeah, so 215. And then for comparison, for Starbucks lattes, you're getting about 150 milligrams of caffeine. But if you get a grande or venti latte macchiato, you're getting 225 milligrams.
Interesting.
So it's depending on what you get, it's a little bit more or a little bit less than a Starbucks coffee.
I'd rather just drink the coffee.
Same. I get people are just like, oh, I gotta go, and then you just shoot it down real quick, but
I don't like that phrase, shoot it down. Sounds like I'm about to do a line of coke or something. Gotta go. Do you remember at our current job? I don't know why, but one day I was just trying to figure out if doing a line of coke was equivalent to drinking a coffee, and we like did the math for it. It's not. I don't know. I don't remember why I brought it up, but I was thinking about buying an espresso machine, and for some reason
I thought you were going to say you were thinking about buying Coke, and I was like, what do you mean?
Don't you remember that when I was talking about buying an espresso machine, and then I looked at the price, and I was like, I remember now.
You could do lines of Coke for less or something like
because someone's mom, that I won't name, did Coke, and they were very open about it.
Oh.
And so then it was on the brain because we just happened to talk about it at the same time, and then I was like, you could get a bag of Coke for that. And then I was like, well, how much? And then, so we did the math for it.
I remember that.
Pause.
I remember I was helping you try to figure out if Nespresso was worth it. And then I was like, well, yeah, if you buy X amount of Starbucks coffees, that goes to the price of this. And then you're just like, oh, I get more than that. And
yeah. That's why. Yeah.
Anywho.
I feel like that was just an ad break for 5 Hour Energy. That really was.
Yeah, it was. Not sponsored.
5 Hour Energy and cocaine. Not
we can be sponsored by the cocaine, not 5 Hour Energy.
We are not going to be sponsored by cocaine.
Anyways, tired of the ads? Tired of the ads? Subscribe to our podcast. $4.99 a month. You get nothing extra, but you support us.
Is it?
And you don't get ads.
Huh? Is it actually $4.99?
No, I think it was like $2. I don't know. I just fucked with it. And I was like, no, maybe it's not a subscription. You can just donate to us. So donate us $5.99, $4.99, whatever I said. Just give us money. And we can buy 5 Hour Energy and actually get sponsored.
If people actually pay for this, I would be shocked.
Wait, we're supposed to convince them to pay.
I know, but I'm just going to be shocked. I'm not. There's no.
This is suddenly an ad for us to get money.
I think the whole podcast is an ad for us to get money.
Yeah, touche. Hasn't worked out.
I was just saying to Paul when I got here today that if I knew that having a podcast meant that I could just force my niche sense of humor down people's throat, I would have had a podcast a long time ago.
Yeah, wait till some of the shit we have coming up. Because we've planned a couple episodes ahead and just wait.
Like the naming of things. You probably saw with episode 8 that came out today because we're recording today, but I don't know what today's date is. Episode 7 episode 8, I'm sorry, was a special episode we had with Andrew, Paul's husband. And our like description is like, to Paul, figure out something funny. And then Paul's like, to Breana, it's my day off, leave me alone. But like, we're just so funny. I can't.
We're just playing off the PTO bit because we didn't have any. The only thing we did that episode was give our commentary. We didn't have any stories. We didn't have anything like that, and it felt nice.
If there's one thing about us is we're punny.
Yeah, we are. We're
talking so much now. It's your turn. Go ahead.
Huh?
We're talking so much now. It's your turn.
It's okay. It's our ad break still.
Gonna have to like chop some of it up. I'm gonna have to chop some of it up.
Anyways, I want to do the ASMR bit so bad. Now it's my turn.
My turn.
So today I have a paranormal...
The floor is yours, my dear.
Thank you. I have a paranormal story, and it's actually local. So I know... So letting you know a little secret, we plan on doing a whole like folklore bit for Massachusetts.
Because one of Paul's friends gave us that idea.
Yeah, I wanted to
Shout out to you. I don't remember what your name was.
It was Andrew's cousin,
Shout out to Andrew's cousin, Ashley. I just choked on all of those words. Did.
So she gave us the idea of doing a folklore Massachusetts episode.
Yeah. When it gets warmer outside, we're going to do that. But right now it's too fucking cold to be venturing out in the wilderness.
Yeah, so I figured I'd give us a little taste.
Can't pay me enough to go outside in the wilderness in this. You can't pay me enough to go outside ever in the wilderness, but I'll do it for you, Ashley.
Great.
Subscribe to us.
Yeah, give us money. Everyone just give us money.
Jesus Christ. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. If you want that episode to happen, donate us money for gas.
Only if you're feeling nice.
Expenses are getting expensive.
Inflation.
So if you like this podcast, give us money.
Even if you don't like this podcast, you can still give us money.
Just give us money.
You could say bad things. You could be mean to us and pay us for it. I'll let you. I'll just shut up about it.
Yeah, we won't roast your life.
Yeah.
If you want to roast us, you got to give us money, and we won't roast you back.
Yeah.
Because if we roast you back, you're going to regret your life. And that's on period.
And that's on what? That's on period.
I farted again.
If you gas me out, I'm going to be so fucking mad.
I make no promises. I've had coffee without any food in my tummy. And a banana. Anyways. Known for its natural beauty, progressive thought, and vibrant art scene, the western part of Massachusetts is, to us locals here on the eastern side, at least a whole different state and partially non-existent.
I was just saying this the other day at work.
Mm-hmm. But to others, it is home to some rich history. Yeah, we were just saying the other day how Western Mass to us just feels like a whole different state.
I was saying that the line is like where Worcester is. Everything to the east by the coast is Massachusetts. Everything else is upstate New York. It doesn't fucking matter. And that's on what? That's on period.
And that's on geography lesson of Massachusetts.
My foot.
Several esteemed authors have roots to the region that includes Dr. Seuss, Eric Carlisle, and Emily Dickinson. Additionally, some notable residents of Western Mass include WWE wrestler John Cena, actress Bridget Moynahan. It's funny because I low-key expected it, but just thought if I kept going, it would just not happen.
I just blocked it.
So some notable residents of Western Massachusetts. WWE wrestler John Cena. Actress Bridget Moynahan. Author... I don't know. Author Austin Burroughs.
Who's that?
Stop. Musicians Thurston Moore and Kim Gordon, and actors Kurt Russell and Uma Thurman.
Wait. That's Kill Bill.
Yeah.
I just killed my PETA. Not the best idea.
That's enough of that. Aside from the esteemed authors and celebrities that resided in the western part of the state, this area is also known to some darker history. Home to stories of vanished friends, strange sounds, apparitions, and the cries of grown men is an active railroad tunnel that passes through the Hoosac mountain range, creatively named the Hoosac Tunnel.
Who shot you?
The Hoosac Tunnel boasts a story of blood, sweat, tears, and tragedy that began all the way back in 1851. The Hoosac mountain range is an extension of Vermont's Green Mountains and runs a straight line along the Deerfield River.
We know someone that lives in Vermont.
We do? Mm-hmm. Just moved to.
Is from.
And is now going back. Vermont. Beautiful state of Vermont. Come visit us.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
Isn't Bernie Sanders from Vermont?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
We love some good old Bernie.
Feel the burn. I'm putting my head back
There
like this.
was a gonorrhea joke there, but I didn't want to make it.
I'm putting my head back like this so I don't scream things into the mic anymore.
Thoughtful. So... The construction of the Hoosac Tunnel began with an estimated cost of over $2 million. However...
What is that in today's time? Money economy.
I don't know.
I thought you would
million.
Have. Two? Count
1851.
Two marshmallows.
And today, dollars. So $2 million in 1851 to today would be worth about $76 million.
That is cray fucking Z.
So if you can time travel, throw $2 million in a savings account.
That's what I'm saying. That's crazy.
Is that how that would work? How does that work? Like,
no. I don't know.
It's a very ignorant thing for me to say, but how does that work?
It works from the price of goods going up. So not the money being worth more, but the price of goods going up. So for example, if something was worth
if something was worth $2 million, it's now worth $76 million.
Yeah. So it's just the labor, the cost of the product thing, whatever going up, not the actual money being worth more.
Damn.
You just need more money for the thing.
Oh. Whack.
Yeah. His clothes, whack. His shoes, whack. The way he actually doesn't care about anything, whack. Me? I'm tight as fuck. You don't know what that is?
No.
I was expecting you to like come in and do it with me. Damn.
No.
Else.
Awkward. Anyway. However, it would end up blowing that budget tenfold, ending construction in 1875, having spent a total of $21 million. And at this point, you maybe ask yourself, how much is $20 million in today's time? $805 million.
It's a lot of money.
That's a lot of dollars. This tunnel would go on to take 24 years to complete, and at the time would be the world's second largest tunnel, and would see hundreds of miners using just picks and shovels to chip away at the stronghold that is the Hoosac Mountain. While this all seems like an innocent day's work, the Hoosac Tunnel would go on to be infamously named the Bloody Pit due to 200 of those aforementioned miners losing their lives trying to craft this tunnel. Most of the casualties would happen due to explosions, fires, and even drowning down in the shafts.
Drowning in a shaft?
Yeah.
What, did they flood it?
Yeah, I'll talk about it. But also, if there's one thing I don't want to go out doing, it's drowning.
I know, we already talked about this.
I don't want to say it's a fear of mine, because I'm not really fearful of it. It's just a, what's the word? Why can I not think of words today?
Phobia?
Preference. I would prefer not to drown when I die.
I had a dream that I was drowning, and when I woke up, I genuinely stopped breathing. I probably have sleep apnea. I had a dream that I was drowning, and then I woke up, and I was very confused, and it was so stressful. My heart was like, you almost took me out there, and I was like, damn.
You know what kind of dream I haven't had in a while? The ones where you're just falling.
I have those all the fucking time.
I used to have those a lot as a kid, and I haven't had it recently.
I had one the other day, and Roxy, who is my cat and very judgmental, I did it, and she was laying on top of me, and she was like, I gave me the dirtiest fucking look, and I was like, if you don't mind your motherfucking business.
You don't understand. So, most of these deaths can be written off as mere tragedies, but a few of them may have some unfortunate endings that weren't necessarily tragedy. So, flashback in time a bit to a moment when the tunnel was still in construction in 1865, industrial America was introduced to a new explosive, nitroglycerin.
What is that?
An explosive.
Oh. Wait, what is that in?
TNT? I don't know. Dynamite?
I know
maybe?
I know.
Nitroglycerin.
That's in something. I don't know why I know that.
Probably
one of my millions of fun facts.
I was going to say probably some...
just remembered. I was supposed to tell you...
NCIS or CSI or something.
I was supposed to tell you a fun fact yesterday, and I couldn't because there was a customer in the store, and the fun fact was about the customer. Do you want to know what it is now?
Yeah, what's the fun fact?
The fun fact is because the guy said, ballpark price. Did you know that in other countries, they don't say that? Only America references things about baseball to explain things. Like, we're like, oh, ballpark, what's the area? Like, ballpark, what's the price? We know exactly what that means. Like, ballpark translates to, like, around, you know, what is. They don't do that in other countries.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, which is just so fascinating. But he said it yesterday, and I was like, did you know? But then I couldn't because he was in there.
Well, I mean, baseball's America's sport, so it makes sense.
Who knows why? Maybe just the tight pants.
Maybe.
Little apple booties. Shorty got them.
It's not a bad thing.
Bottom. I'm on some shit today. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, you are. This new explosive would be a perfect addition to the miners' arsenal, as it was perfect for blasting through the tough rock of the mountains. On the afternoon of March 20th, 1865, three men, Ned Brinkman, Billy Nash, and Ringo Kelly, would plant a charge of the nitroglycerin and start charging towards the safety bunker. Ringo would be the first to make it to the bunker, and through carelessness would prematurely set off the explosion, with Ned and Billy still inside, burying them alive under tons of solid rock.
That is a phobia.
Yep. Not too long following this tragedy, Ringo would go suddenly missing, nowhere to be found. This would be the story until 1 year and 10 days later, where his body would be discovered inside the tunnel at the exact spot that Ned and Billy had died. However, he wasn't crushed under the same rock that had been. He was found to have been strangled to death.
Who strangled him?
The deputy sheriff at the time, Charles F. Gibson, would go on to estimate that the time of death was between midnight and 3:30 a.m.
Wait. Who strangled him?
But this murder would go on to never be solved.
What do you mean?
As there were no suspects.
Did he strangle himself? Oh.
With no answers to how Ringo was murdered, miners would come to their own conclusions that would feature Ringo being murdered by none other than the vengeful spirits of Ned and Billy. This would create a widespread fear that the tunnel had been cursed by the men's restless ghosts and would make miners avoid entering, even making some visitors to the tunnel become uneasy.
Wait. Mister, I don't believe in ghosts over here. Do you think he strangled himself?
No. My logic is someone probably came after him. That is related to like Ned and Billy and heard the story and just wanted revenge. Because what's the perfect way to get revenge? Obviously kill him and just be like, this is where you should have died too, and just leave him there. If we're talking logically.
Boring.
Yeah, I know that's what you were going to say. So one of these visitors, a mechanical engineer at the time, Paul Travers, was employed with the Hoosac project and had taken a tour with one of the tunnel's managers, Mr. Dunn. Paul was a highly respected cavalry officer in the Union Army and would frequently write letters to his sister who was back home in Connecticut. The details of one of these letters included a passage that stated, "The men constantly complain of hearing a man's voice cry out in agony and refuse to enter the great shaft until after nightfall."
I had a math teacher in high school who was Mr. Dunn.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Every time around Halloween, he would do the Monster Mash on TV. He would play a video of him playing the Monster Mash on a keyboard. If you went to Wareham High School, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Interesting. This would lead the mine manager to having to repeatedly, time and time again, reassure the men that the sounds were nothing more than wind sweeping through the tunnels. But of course, the miners weren't so believing of that explanation. Paul's letter continued to detail another experience and stated, "Last night, Mr. Dunn and I entered the Great Tunnel at exactly 9 p.m. We traveled about 2 miles into the shaft and then stopped to listen.
Shaft.
As we stood there in the cold silence, we heard what truly sounded like a man groaning out in pain. As you know, I have heard this same sound many times during the war. Yet, when we turned up the wicks on our lamps, there were no other human beings in the shaft except Mr. Dunn and myself. I'll admit I haven't been this frightened since Shiloh, which, for context, was a 2-day Civil War conflict between the Union Army and Confederate forces in Pittsburgh Landing, Tennessee, on April 7th, 1862. At the time, it was the bloodiest battle in American history, with more than 23,000 dead and wounded. Mr. Dunn agreed that it wasn't the wind we heard. Perhaps Nash or Brinkman, which for context is Ned or Billy, the ones that were killed in the cave. Mm-hmm. And he signs it just, "I wonder."
Did you say that he wrote that down somewhere?
Yes, this was in his letter that he wrote to his sister that was back in Connecticut.
Dude. Drama.
Following Paul Travers' visit, only a month later, on October 17th, 1868, the worst disaster in the tunnel's history would occur. This disaster would see 13 miners perish at the hands of a gas explosion that blew apart a surface pumping station. Debris would fill the shaft where the miners were working, as well as gas fumes, leaving the 13 miners to perish. A correspondent for the North Adams Transcript, Glenn Drohan, reported that a miner named Mallory was lowered down with a bucket and rope to go on a search mission for any survivors. However, once he would breach the surface while almost being unconscious and gasping for air from the fumes, would gasp and simply utter 2 words, "No hope."
The fuck?
With that surface pumping station now out of order, the 538-foot shaft would start to fill quickly with water, allowing some of the bodies of the dead miners to surface. More than a year later, the remaining bodies would be found on a makeshift raft that the survivors had built to attempt to float on the rising water before succumbing to suffocation from the lack of oxygen due to the raging fires.
So they made a raft of dead bodies? Is that what
you said? No. Like the miners down there made a makeshift raft to get themselves to the surface and out of the water.
Yeah.
But then they ended up dying of suffocation because there were fires.
Yeah. I thought you said they made a raft of dead people. I was like, bro.
Well, it turned into a raft of dead people, but that wasn't how it started.
Yeah. Suffocation just seems... I don't have an emotion to tie to that, but that's something that I would not want to experience.
It goes right next to drowning for me.
The same
it's all kind of the same. Yeah,
thing,
I was going to say
same thing, different shape.
During the time that those miners were missing, villagers from around the mine would begin to gossip and talk about seeing strange shapes and muffled wails near the water-filled shaft. Additionally...
Shaft.
I need a fucking new word. Additionally, workmen claimed to see the lost miners carrying picks and shovels through a shroud of mist and snow at the peaks of the mountain. It was also said that the apparitions would appear briefly, then vanish, leaving no footprints or sign of existence. As soon as the miners were found in the raft, they would be given a proper burial, and the visitations of their apparitions were said to have ceased. However, deep inside the tunnel itself, the eerie moans persisted, and it left the workers terrified. Following this tragedy, a drilling operations superintendent would visit the tunnel after it had appeared in a Michigan newspaper, and he wrote the following about his visit. On the night of June 25th, 1872, James McKinstry and I entered the great excavation at precisely 11:30 p.m. Why are you going in a tunnel at 11:30 p.m., you fucking weirdo? Anyways, we had traveled about 2 full miles into the shaft when we finally halted to rest.
Do you remember when I kept saying porthole? I hope you now know what it feels like. With that being said,
holes.
Shaft.
Oh. Except for the dim, smoky light cast by our lamps, the place was as cold and dark as a tomb. James and I stood there talking for a minute or two, and were just about to turn back when suddenly I heard a strange, mournful sound. It was just as if someone, or something, was suffering great pain. The next thing I saw was a dim light coming along the tunnel from a westerly direction. At first, I believed it was probably a workman with a lantern. Yet, as the light grew closer, it took on a strange blue color and appeared to change shape almost into the form of a human being without a head.
Oh.
The light seemed to be floating along about a foot or two above the tunnel floor. In the next instant, it felt as if the temperature had suddenly dropped and a cold, icy chill ran up and down my spine. The headless form came so close that I could have reached out and touched it, but I was too terrified to move.
I was just going to say, did you touch it?
For what seemed like an eternity, McKinstry and I stood there, gaping at the headless thing like 2 wooden Indians. The blue light remained motionless for a few seconds as if it was actually looking over us, then floated off towards the east end of the shaft and vanished into thin air.
Shaft.
Now, mind you, all of this described was all occurring before the tunnel was even completed. Finally, on February 9th, 1875, the tunnel would see its first train venture through the haunted tunnel. Even today, with the completion of the tunnel finally behind us, frightening tales still circulate of the ghostly beings inside. Reports continue to be told of muffled voices, strange orbs of lights, and even apparitions. It's suggested that if you do visit the tunnel, to be careful and keep a watchful eye out, not only because you may catch a sighting or sounds of a ghost, but mostly because it's still an operating train tunnel, and while don't become another story and ghosts to add to the tunnel's already bloody, spooky history.
Getting hit by a train, dude. You know I have an irrational fear of train tracks?
Do you really?
We talked about this, didn't we?
No.
I don't like going over train tracks at all. I don't trust the fucking things that are like a train's coming. Just every time I go see a train track, I like go up to it slowly and then I haul ass over it as fast as possible.
Yeah, because you and I were the ones who talked about buses and why they stop at the train tracks, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because there was a...
Was that at work?
No, it was coming here. I think we were coming back last week from...
Oh, yeah, because the kids are just getting out of school. Yeah, okay. I was like, why do we talk about that? Yeah, no, I don't like trains.
Yeah, I like this story a lot. I mean, it's a short little spooky tale. Mm-hmm. But I really liked it. And the fact that these people actually wrote these letters and experienced these things, and I was like, ooh.
So how do you feel about that?
I mean, just how I feel about every other ghost story we talk about, but...
Boo.
Get it?
Boring.
Boo.
Those are my favorite TikToks.
What?
And like something's written on a board and then like they erase it until it's just like the letters like BOO and they're like
Yeah, it's like books and then they erase the S and then they erase the K and they're like
I love it. I think it's so funny.
But yeah, no, I really enjoy the story, and especially because it's so close to home for us. So it's just cool to learn about the ghost stories that are around here. And it makes me want to go visit.
I think because we're so old, like as a state, it's just like there's so many ghost stories around the whole state.
Mm-hmm. And it's kind of, and it features the usual like, oh yeah, the bodies were missing, and then all these things were happening that are unexplained. But as soon as the bodies were found and given the proper like rest and burial, it all kind of ceased. Which it's like, get a creative ghost story, will you?
That's just how. I mean, that's
just how the ghosties are.
The only reason that they hang around usually is because they either have one unfinished business, as you saw with Jennifer Love Hewitt in The Ghost Whisperer, or their body or their like things were disrupted, like their remains, and they couldn't be laid to rest.
Can't be laid to rest until their bodies are found.
Yes. Ooh. Yes.
So does that mean if there's a ghost in your house, there's a dead body in your house?
Not necessarily, because sometimes...
But there could be. Check your basement.
Sometimes. They stick around because something traumatic happened to them.
Wow.
and they're not over it yet. So that's filed under unfinished business. Because they have to like they basically have to go to therapy. Ghost Whisperers are just therapists.
That goes back to my John Lennon story from episode 6.
Maybe. I don't know.
Sure.
We need to stop referencing other episodes because we never know what episode.
Because he was still... You know what? I'm not going to give it away. If you haven't listened to episode 6, stop right now.
Yeah.
And come back.
How was it?
And we're back. How was the episode? I hope it was good. Since you've heard it already. Yeah, because he was still haunting that apartment that he died at until he had spirit guides go and was just like, you know, babe, you're dead. Like, let's move on. And he's like, you know, you're right.
I would never let them send me back.
You would just stay?
Yeah. I want to haunt people. It'd be really funny.
It would be kind of fun.
Yeah, I think it would be.
I agree.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
Do you or do you not feel bonita?
I feel bonita.
Well, that's wonderful because you look bonita.
Anyways, that wraps up our stories for today.
Yeah, this was great.
There was a lot that went on this episode.
Yeah,
really
I was on some shit. I think it's because I'm so tired.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to sleep.
It's been a rough morning.
Yeah.
And now you have to scurry home and hope to... Well, you will beat the snow. Yeah. I don't think it's snowing yet.
Yeah, last time I checked the weather, it said that it wasn't snowing yet.
It's going to be like 1 or 2, I think. Yeah. So you got a couple hours.
Yeah, I'm good.
I want nachos. I'm really upset we can't have
I know.
Nachos,
I told Q on last night that we were supposed to make nachos. He's like, that's fucked up that you're making our nachos with somebody else. I was like, it's Paul. I was like, you act like I'm doing something I'm not supposed to do, and it's Paul. And he's like, but there are nachos. I'm like, okay.
And he'll get over it. So... Yeah. So yeah, as always, you can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at isntthatoddpod, and most importantly, find our podcasts on Spotify, Apple Music, Christian Mingle,
Grindr,
Tinder, Bumble, Hinge,
Facebook dating because they have that now.
Is that still a thing? I remember them like shooting me an ad for that, and I was like, I
was trying to find my memories the other day, and the Facebook dating thing was right next to it, and I was like, oh,
I love that. You can listen to us.
FarmersMeat.com. Sorry.
Listen to us at your local animal shelter.
Yeah.
Your
Coming
local
to
Starbucks,
an amphitheater near you.
McDonald's.
Yeah. In your headphones.
Aroma Joe's, Dunkin'.
Yeah.
If you have those. Tim Hortons if you live in Canada.
I want a Tim Horton coffee so bad. It looks like it would solve my depression.
I've had it, but when I was younger. No, I guess I haven't had it because it was when I was younger and I didn't like coffee. So I have been to Tim Hortons, but
I want to go.
We'll make a trip.
To
Canada?
Canada?
Can't be that far. Yeah.
If I go to Canada...
Do you have a passport?
I have to get one. 2, if I go to Canada, I won't be back. I'll stay there.
Niagara Falls is fun. We should do a Niagara Falls trip.
What did you just call me?
Niagara?
I think that'd be really fun. Yeah, I want to go.
It's like Viagra. If you have any recommendations of something you're dying for us to hear about, we have a Google Doc linked in our link tree, which can be found in our Instagram bio or episode descriptions. So let us know any stories, true crime, conspiracy, or paranormal that you like that we haven't talked about and you want our stupid commentary on. Yeah. And we just may do it in a future episode.
Yeah. Or... if you have any personal stories or anything like that falls into our categories, you can shoot us an email at isntthatoddpod@gmail.com, and we'll be compiling them for our listeners episode at some point in time.
Yeah, for what it's worth, Breana looks at that a lot more than I do. And she's like, did you see that email? And I was like, no.
Oh, yeah, we made it. We got a spam email. Someone was like... It was a spammiest of spam emails. They were just like, yeah, I also make YouTube videos. We should collab and make YouTube videos.
Yeah, they were just like, I saw your YouTube videos. They're great. I also make YouTube videos. Here's my content. And then linked YouTube and said, we should collab. And
it was like a stock email with like a stock photo. I was like, don't click the link. I was like, it's a spam email. We made
fishing. It's like those trainings you get at work. That's like, how to detect phishing emails.
Boss.
Anyways, that's it. Bye. No. As always, don't be a douchebag.
Don't be a dick.
Be kind to one another.
Be a menace to society.
We love being a menace to society.
It
keeps everyone on their toes.
Society, yeah.
Yeah. But while you're being a menace, don't be a douchebag.
Yeah.
That's our biggest thing.
Yeah.
Be nice. Be kind. And that's all I got for you. So you can turn us off now.
Yeah, I learned long division yesterday, so it's over for you bitches.
Yeah.
Bye.
Right. Turn us off.
Bye.
It's like the It's like when
Shut
you're
up,
on the
bye.
phone
Shut
and you're
up,
like,
bye.
hang up. And you're like, no, you hang up.
No, you hang up.
So it's like, I'm going to keep saying hang up until you turn off this show. No, you hang up.
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 I'm going to kill myself.
I'm going to hang up.